Hello beautiful souls and welcome back. Today's tarot and oracle reading will be using the Magical Herb Oracle as well as the Rider Tarot. We're going to start off with the Magical Herb Oracle to get an overall sense of what we are here to discuss today. Now you've already seen the title, you know what this video is about. But I don't yet. So, okay, we're talking about compassion today. Marshmallow. Is that totally glared with that light? I hope not. Marshmallow. Compassion. Compassion is always so important, whether we're talking about compassion for ourselves, compassion for other people, compassion for situations, for outcomes, for whatever. Compassion is very important. We must be compassionate to ourselves, to our loved ones, to situations that we are in, to ourselves in certain situations. Oftentimes, we want to fall back into negative thought patterns. We want to escape what is happening by thinking about other things. This sometimes can be compassionate, this sometimes isn't. Sometimes we really need to stay in the moment. Sometimes we need to observe the moment in order to be compassionate to ourselves in the long run. When we escape the moment, sometimes we ignore the pain, the frustration, the anger that is within the moment. And then we almost black out, we blank it out of our mind, we forget about it, we suppress it, and it sits so deep within our subconscious, and then little things will trigger it to come to the surface. And suppressing that is not compassionate to ourselves. So sometimes, as hard as it is, we need to sit in the anger and the frustration and the hurt in order to be compassionate to ourselves in the long run. We have the Eight of Wands. This is forward movement. This is going into the future. This is thinking of the future, thinking about what you are passionate about and where things are going to take you. And ultimately, with the Eight of Wands, this is quick progression into that next phase. But then we have the Nine of Swords. And I don't think I need to tell anyone looking at this card that this person is hurt. They are feeling pain. They are feeling sorrow. So, like I was saying, sometimes when you suppress those emotions that you don't want to deal with in the moment, things start to move on. Things are moving on quickly, and then all of a sudden, boom, that hits you, right? It doesn't have to be even anything negative, but all of a sudden, a scent or a sound or a word can trigger you, and all of a sudden you're back in that moment. That fear, that anxiety, that pain, that hurt has come up. And you could be in the middle of the grocery store when it happens. You know, perhaps you were hurt or abused by someone in your past, and you've just suppressed it to the point that you've almost forgotten about it. But then you're in the grocery store, minding your own business, and suddenly a mother calls to her child, and that child has the same name as your abuser. And then all of a sudden, you're picking out apples with tears running down your face, and you don't know why. In those moments, you must be compassionate to yourself. And you must, the grocery store might not be the place to analyze and overthink those feelings. But if things like that are happening to you, you might want to stop and think, like, why is this bugging me? Why is this triggering to me? This could also be, on social media. You see it all the time. People feeling triggered by words that other people say. And yes, some people do say very hurtful things. But then other times, people will suggest something that seems rather mundane. And then there's people that get offended by it, get triggered by it. Triggered is such a hot topic word, right? It's like, why are certain people affected by certain words so much, by certain actions, when the action or the word itself seems almost trivial? I'm not talking about hateful speech or hurtful things directed at someone, but it could even be the mention of, again, a name or a product or a place. We don't know everyone's past. We don't know everyone's experiences. And so it can be hard to not hurt people sometimes because you just don't know, right? And I'm not saying we need to apologize for those we have inadvertently hurt by sharing our own experience. And I mean, sometimes it's sharing your own experience that triggers other people as well. But at some point, we do have to take accountability for ourselves and for our own triggers and experiences and perceptions on this world. And that's not a negative thing. That is being compassionate to ourselves. If you are finding yourself being overwhelmed and anxious and all these other kind of, I want to say negative emotions, but they're not really, emotions are neither negative nor positive. We might interpret certain things as positive emotions or negative emotions, but things like anger and fear can be positive emotions because they can lead us to act in ways that will protect us, right? For fear, we have the fight or flight response. And in moments of true danger, that fear is a very positive sign because it allows us to take the steps that we need to protect ourselves. Other times when we know that there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of, like perhaps we're sitting in our living room watching a horror movie, you still get that fear. But then again, that's not really a negative emotion because that's associated with joy. You more than likely chose to watch that movie for the adrenaline rush of that fear. And it's about listening to yourself, being compassionate to yourself, and trusting that you have the capability to feel these emotions and to get through these emotions and to process the emotions. So many people have lived this human experience suppressing their emotions. And I'm totally guilty of this too. For a large majority of my life, I did not want to feel any emotions, positive or negative, right? I just wanted to exist and let the days go by, and that was it. And now, being a little more educated on my own emotions, which only comes through experience, trial and error, and actually allowing yourself to feel things, I know that I am definitely not perfect when it comes to feeling my emotions or to expressing my emotions. But for me, the point is that I try. If I'm feeling sad, I allow myself to be sad. Whereas before it was like, no, I'm fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me. I'm just going to keep going about my day. But now it's like, you know what? No, I'm sad. And it's okay to be sad. Just as it's okay to be happy, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to be angry. Maybe it's not okay to direct your anger at someone, but it is okay to be angry. You can be angry at situations. You can be angry at people. If someone hurts you, you can be angry at someone. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to project that anger onto someone. Because again, not only are we being compassionate to ourselves, we are being compassionate to other people as well. So, compassion. It is a topic worth exploring further, and really one that deserves more than a 10 or 12-minute video. So if you want me to talk more about compassion, please let me know down in the comments below. I hope this has started a conversation, especially one with yourself, about the emotions that you've been feeling and how you can be more compassionate to yourself today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Love, light, and happiness to all of you. Bye.